Okay, today is Aaron Richardson Day.
Aaron Richardson, you.
And we wait, no, you can't do that with an empty glass. They're both right here.
Hey.
Aaron Richardson also sent some cash, and we're finally getting to, down the list, he sent us Clyde Mays and Jim Beam Devil's Cut.
Devil's
And we're gonna do both.
Aaron Richardson, you magnificent bastard.
Yeah,
All right.
double fisting it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's start with Jim Beam. Now, Devil's Cut is, they took their normal Jim Beam,
Yeah,
Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey,
sure.
and then they, because you know what the Angel Share is, right?
Yes.
Angel Share is evaporation out of a barrel.
We did an episode on this that
Yes.
Chad's definitely not going to forget to put in the corner. Because when I do this, Chad, you're all over it, buddy. You never miss those.
Never miss. Okay, so they decided, you know, well, screw the Angels. We want some of our whiskey back.
Right. So Devil's Cut means what?
They took the barrels that used to have whiskey,
Yes.
and through a process of pressure and water and sweating the barrels out, they soaked the whiskey back out of the wood.
Okay.
And they added that to their typical Jim Beam whiskey.
So this should be really oaky whiskey.
Yes.
Interesting.
It should give it a robust and hefty flavor according to their marketing materials.
Robust.
Oh, look, it's got that weird
Now-
screw cap seal thing on it.
We will see how robust it gets, because usually whenever there's a big recognizable brand, their priority is going to be, you know, less aggressive and more easy sipping than it is truly robust and loud with their flavor.
Wow, man, this is pure cinnamon.
It is. Oh,
Yeah.
It's like almost potpourri. Like
Yeah,
like
like-
a cinnamon potpourri type of vibe.
Yeah, that was weird. That caught me off guard.
Apples and cinnamon.
In theory, this is at least, they say it's around 6 years
I'm
old.
starting to get into the honeyed oak now. But the first nose.
No, it's apple cinnamon. It's apple pie.
That's what it says.
It's straight, you're right. No, I was agreeing with you, Rex.
He's like surprised that I said things.
Well, you said it, and then all of a sudden I smelled a fresh baked apple pie, including the yeasty bread notes.
I drink and I know things, Daniel. This is
Yeah.
been established.
That's what you do, you know
I
things.
drink and I know things.
You,
By the way, the fact that Game of Thrones is going for this long without another episode, what the actual hell? Continue.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
He doesn't watch good shows.
Oh,
He really doesn't.
it tastes like,
I'm still on the nose.
you know what it is? It tastes like, you know how you can have those jelly bellies that are flavored like things?
Oh yeah, I mean the jelly beans.
Like popcorn
Sure.
or, yeah.
Oh, some of them are like gross. And
This is like an apple cinnamon jelly belly. Because it's like someone faking the flavors of apple cinnamon as opposed to actual apple cinnamon, right? So it feels a little more brittle and shiny.
Yeah, a little-
like pretend fake flavors.
it's like artificial.
Yeah.
Okay. I can even buy that on the nose, actually.
Imagine artificial apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get this, and in the end, it leaves your mouth a little dry and clingy.
You know what? So.
But I kind of dig it.
Yeah.
That being said,
So, that being said, I have to be in a very specific mood.
yeah.
And I have to be in a very specific context, and maybe I'm having like the right kind of snack with it. But this could be like, I would treat this as like, if I were in the mood for, I don't know, a little dessert treat. Something.
Yeah, but it leaves my
cinnamon-
mouth dry at the end.
I don't eat
Ice.
I don't eat candy, really.
Me either.
But
but Reese's Pieces.
Fine, whatever. But once in I want to say, God, once in a blue moon just seems like a really like.
It really does. Yeah.
It's a really
That's
cheesy
fine.
thing.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while, I'll say, you know what? I will have a piece of candy. I would reach for this every once in a while, as often as I wanted a
Yeah,
piece of
that
candy.
makes sense.
Yeah.
There are two candies I keep in my house. The real Cadbury's, not the Hershey distributed U.S. Cadbury's.
Right.
The little eggs, chocolate eggs, because they're glorious. And Reese's Pieces, because, you know, E.T. eats them.
So, I would actually be genuinely interested, because it does have some pretty pronounced flavors. I think some really interesting cocktails could be made around this.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
But beyond cocktails, if I was in like just a little, I would probably be watching an action movie.
Yeah, I prefer
and
the
eating
buttery
some popcorn.
notes.
I would eat some popcorn, be watching an action movie.
Oh, popcorn with this would work.
Yeah.
Because it would stand up to the heavy butter, clingy flavors.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try Clyde Mays. Clyde Mays is weird.
Okay. This is weird too.
Yeah, they're both weird. So, Aaron, you're weird, man.
So weird. Dude.
So here's the thing about Clyde Mays. I love that they're doing innovative and interesting things and that they're being honest about it. They are sourcing whiskeys. Clyde Mays is sourcing whiskeys.
I'm listening. Say your words.
And then they are afterwards adding apples. I think Aaron Richardson likes cinnamon apple.
Really?
Because these are two whiskeys he suggested that are both apple heavy.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair enough.
Now, this is the special reserve, so this is 110 proof Clyde Mays whiskey. They're doing Alabama style, according to the guy Clyde Mays, they say is the founder of their recipes. They're using dried apples and cinnamon in the barrel after they buy their sourced barrels.
Sure.
So they're sourcing a whiskey, then adding actual apple and cinnamon into the barrel.
Can you do that?
Well, that's why it's called a whiskey instead of bourbon.
Now, I thought anytime you started adding those kinds of you had to get FDA approval.
As long as it's less than a certain percentage.
Oh. Okay.
You're okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
Now,
well, now I have all
they
kinds
call
of...
it Alabama style. And the only reason they can do that is because they're the first person to do anything and call it Alabama style. So they got to call this Alabama style. It's not like the whole state got together and they're like, we need a style of whiskey.
Right.
And everyone said, apples and cinnamon.
You know what would have happened the moment you had a committee get together?
Oh, it would have never, still wouldn't have a whiskey.
Right.
So, oh my God.
Wow.
What?
No, this is apple cider, man.
Yes.
It's apple cider.
Yes, it is.
Christmas apple cider.
Oh my God, the nose.
But I love Christmas apple cider.
Hang on a second.
I really like Christmas apple cider.
This reminds me of when you got those hard candies that were chewy.
This is green Jolly Rancher. No, this is green Jolly Rancher.
Yes, Jolly Rancher.
Yes.
Actually, what's interesting is I was actually thinking Jolly Rancher, but I was describing Starburst.
Right, it's green Jolly Rancher.
It is green Jolly Rancher. Oh my God!
I'm like, so here's
this is candy.
So anybody that considers themselves
Aaron,
really serious about whiskey and the craft.
Yeah, this is not it.
This would be a travesty. But if you really like apple cider, it's like f all that apple cider whiskey. It's kind of exciting to even smell. I haven't even tasted yet. I'm hoping it lives up to what I'm dreaming to be, an apple cider whiskey.
Oh my God, I can't get away from that.
That's the only thing that's there.
I want to go back to Jim Beam.
So you know when the apple cider, it's been cooked down and it's really intense, right? It's not diluted at all. You don't have to go.
Oh, it tastes exactly like you would expect from the smell.
Ooh.
The smell and the taste are identical.
Wow.
Yeah.
So. This is one of the whiskeys where if you understand what it is going in and you're just ready for an apple cider with tons of cinnamon in it and you like that, then you could really like it. If you were just trying to go for an interesting whiskey.
No, this is not it.
You know
what I drink this with?
Potentially rage against what's happening in that bottle. But
you know what I drink this with?
This is a perfect Christmas whiskey.
Yeah. I would drink it with ice. Because it would taste like you mixed a cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
If you put Clyde Mays Special Reserve on rocks,
yeah,
you would swear someone just made a beautifully cinnamon cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is...
Now, I wouldn't mind adding it to black tea and milk.
Right.
Right? So, English-style tea with a little bit of Clyde Mays at Christmas would probably be glorious.
That is just...
But right now...
That is a funky adventure, man.
I can't do it. I'm going back to Jim Beam.
No, I'm all up in the apple cider.
Nope. You look like you're all up in the apple cider. Your haircut and your trucker hat.
From Alabama. With the rat tail.
Bama.
Anthony Dorner, so when the distillery is up and running, what are the chances of an episode or more? That's similar to how it's made.
More than you could ever want.
So on our Whiskey Tribe channel, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, we already did a video that showed us doing all the tasting of the barrels.
Sure, tasting the barrels.
That was the first step. Next video, bottling of the barrels.
Well, and then we're going to do like a grain episode, I think, coming up.
We're going to do it all.
Yeah, all that stuff. Let us see the working process of making whiskey with shenanigans, of course.
Yeah, of course.
With shenanigans.
Like shove Daniel's head into the mash.
Hey, Daniel.
Bobbing for apples in a mash tun.
Hey, Daniel. Remember this glorious story you had about you getting a scooter?
Yeah, I got a
and
scooter.
you got a free oxygen tank.
Yeah.
And a safety flag.
Yeah.
And I was expecting an old man scooter. It was not an old man scooter.
No, but
what was it?
It was about as fast as an old man scooter. It turns out that was a little bit of a rude surprise. Yeah.
It's basically a carbon copy of my scooter, but in black because Daniel.
Yeah.
But we had a race.
But slower.
But we had a race.
Yeah. Although.
Up here's the race. We'll show you the race.
Yeah. Although mine has Bluetooth speaker capabilities.
Yeah.
And a sissy bar in a passenger seat.
Yeah.
And a safety flag because safety first.
Yeah.
And it's alarmed.
Oh, yeah.
So no one can steal it.
You know what? It's so slow, though. If somebody tried to steal it, you just walk up and say, hey, dude, seriously, what are you doing?
You know what? If someone had tried to... I couldn't even know that was too good. I could actually picture that.
It's like, man, just get off the scooter.
They're like riding down the road. They're riding down the road and you're just walking next to them like, dude, come on. What the hell? That's my scooter. They're like, ah. Isn't there a movie that has a chase scene on the actual old four-wheeler scooters with old people? There is a movie that does that. I can't remember which one it is.
Probably.
Okay. Any other questions before we
have questions?
Okay.
Just like questions. I'm really enjoying. No, don't think of it as a whiskey. It's alcoholic apple cinnamon cider.
Yes.
And they're fine. Stanislav McGraw. Do you think it is a universal rule?
I'm not sure why that caught me off guard, but it did.
Do you think it is universal rule to not water young whiskeys?
No.
People do that all the
Everybody
time.
waters every whiskey to try it out. As a matter of fact, I haven't done it with Jim Beam, but it's totally worth doing. Any whiskey you try for the first time, water it down a little bit and see what happens. You could get down to 30% alcohol and still be learning some things about the whiskey.
John Tamburg, hey Daniel, what is your, NREX. We got one that says NREX.
Oh, they thought of you. Yeah. Oh, the Jim Beam got better.
Right.
Try the Jim Beam.
With water?
I added a dash of water, and I actually like it even more.
It's got more oak character.
Yeah, the oak barrel came out a little bit. Probably dropped it to 40, and that made it perfect.
What is your opinion on major single malts have degraded in quality in recent years, particularly the 12-year-old bottles? I read some theories that said it was generally due to older stocks that have gotten used up. So what used to be 12 years mixed with some 15, 16, and 18, or whatever, is now all 12 years old. May also be due to increased filling requirements to meet demand, leading to more inferior barrels being used.
So what he's talking about is traditionally in a 12-year-old Scotch barrel, you may have 60, 70% of the whiskey in that bottle being 12 years old.
Right.
But there will be another 20, 30% from older barrels that round out and add to the flavor and keep the flavor consistent.
Sure.
Now we're running low on old whiskey stocks.
Fine.
And so there's a chance that what's going in there is more high proportions of the younger whiskey.
Right.
Now, what I would say is this is probably most of it psychosomatic.
So, this is what I'm saying.
Not all of it.
No, this is what I'm saying. Because I've seen this in life everywhere, on everything. Human beings tend to have basically nostalgia.
Yes.
Whenever they look back, everybody tends to believe, man, those were the days. Wasn't it great when? And they think that now it's not possibly as good as it was.
Yep.
Because back then we tend to remember things being better than they actually were.
And that's true of everything in life, not just whiskey.
Right.
And so your favorite bottle of whiskey, like Highland Park, changes all their branding and their labeling and their bottling.
Sure.
And the first thing people say is, oh, it used to be good.
Right.
And they probably did that because they're running out of whiskey and now it's all shitty.
No, even when something can be objectively measured.
Yeah.
And you're looking at right now compared to back in the day.
Yeah.
And you can, somebody will swear up and down that it's worse for all these different reasons. Like, but no, it's measurably better whenever we can measure something. And it's just at odds.
As a matter of fact,
it's at odds with what people remember it being.
There's a study that I use in class that shows that even experts or general people are wrong on rating wines. So they gave these people these wines. They made one of the wines objectively worse by adding acid or tartaric acid to it to make it more bitter and more
Right.
But they told everybody that was the most expensive whiskey. Everybody rated that one as the whiskey as wine.
Yeah.
Everyone rated that as the best wine, even though they had made it objectively worse by adding flavor to it because they were told it was expensive.
Sure.
Humans are the worst at objective analysis on things.
Yeah.
So, no, I think, yes, while I think you're right, there's probably more younger whiskey in the bottles today than there was 10 years ago. I still think the same people we've always trusted are in charge of the whiskey. If the same master distiller has been there for 10 years and you liked what he made before, why would you stop now?
Sure. So yes, there is
trust the chef.
There is pressure to make sure that they can meet demand, but at the same time, there is also competition, and they know, hey, if we start slipping and what
That's
people
called
are
watering the soup.
if what people are expecting from us, they will bail, and there are plenty of other options.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight, may you fight for a friend.
If you steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.